The air is thick, suffocating, an invisible warning. At the only place where a glimmer of hope remains, the weak and the strong must face each other. Every drop of water that falls is a crack between life and death. Tense eyes, stalking bodies, no one is allowed to be careless for even a single breath. Just one moment of inattention, and the darkness will instantly swallow you whole. And the question echoes, who will still be standing when dawn breaks? Under the scorching heat, silence is not peace, but a threat. In the sparse bushes, 3 pairs of young eyes look up, waiting. Hunger has gnawed away their innocence, and each weak breath is a silent question to their mother. In the amber eyes of the mother lion, there is no pride of a king. Only the weariness of a hunter who has failed for days, and the burden of her small lives on the brink of death. The maternal instinct burns hotter than the scorching sun, turning fear into ultimate courage. In the distance, a solitary figure appears, the only source of life. This is no longer a hunt. This is a battle for the future. A battle where the loser will not see tomorrow. Around them, only the breath of the victor remains. Today's meal is not a trophy, it is life. Survival comes not just from tooth and claw, but from the invisible laws that shape the lion prides of Zakuma. In a night that swallows the stars, every breath is a gamble. There are no roars of defiance, only the frantic drumming of a heart in the prey's chest and the deadly stillness of a hidden predator. This is not merely a meal, it is nature's death sentence, where a moment of weakness, a single small mistake, is enough to end a life. Under the Zakuma sky, the battle for survival has no spectators, no rules, only one law. The weak are culled. And every dawn that breaks is a bloody victory, a cold reminder of the brutality and glory of life. Under the scorching skies of Central Africa, Zakuma once echoed with the desperate cries of the African bush elephants. According to the European External Action Service, between 2002 and 2010, over 4,000 individuals vanished without a sound. At one point, nearly 100 never returned each week. The population was shattered, many herds completely dispersed. Step by step, greed and helplessness had turned Zakuma into a desolate graveyard. It wasn't until 2010, when African parks stepped in, that a new hope began to sprout from the ashes. For the first time, satellite devices tracked the heavy footsteps of these giants. Local communities became the guardians, protecting the wildlife and the land of their ancestors. Now, Zakuma once again thrives as a biological battlefield, where predator and prey struggle for survival in its most primal rhythm. In the shade of the acacia trees, the lion waits patiently, its eyes glowing like embers. Not far away, a herd of taupe antelopes watches intently for strange movements in the wind. Across the murky water, a Nile crocodile surfaces in silence, while a hippopotamus stirs. A silent, wordless contest begins. Life here may not roar, but it beats fiercely, silently, and with a relentless intensity. Zakuma National Park was officially established in 1963 by a presidential decree of the Republic of Chad. Zakuma became the country's first national park and one of the oldest protected areas in the Central African region. Its establishment marked a shift from a loosely managed territory to a strictly protected area. This was a pivotal moment in the history of wildlife conservation in Chad, laying the foundation for future ecological restoration strategies. By 2024, the officially recognized area of Zakuma was 1,175 square miles. Located in the southeast of the Republic of Chad, Zakouma National Park spans the provinces of Guera and Salamat. The park is situated in the Sudano-Sahelian Ecological Transition Zone, a meeting point between the edge of the Sahara Desert and the tropical forests of Central Africa. Thanks to its geographical location, the area mainly consists of low-lying plains with an elevation ranging from 656 to 1,640 feet above sea level. The geology is primarily composed of ancient alluvial and desert sand deposits, which has allowed for the development of a network of rivers. This is essential for maintaining both the hydrological balance and ecological health. Reintroduction of the black rhino in 2018. The bird life is even more diverse, with 530 species recorded. Consequently, the park has become one of Africa's premier birdwatching destinations, especially during the flood season. In terms of plant life, Zakouma has recorded over 500 species of vascular plants, with the main ecological structure being the shrub savanna. Each plant community is distributed based on soil moisture, from the seasonally flooded grasslands to the dry savannas. The climate of Zakouma is characterized as semi-arid with two distinct seasons. The rainy season lasts from May to September, while the dry season extends from October to April of the following year. This seasonal climate pattern dictates the life cycles of the plant communities and strongly influences the migratory, reproductive, and foraging behaviors of the wildlife in the region. The dry season in Zakouma brings the most extreme climatic conditions, with daytime temperatures often soaring above 95 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity dropping to very low levels. Rainfall is almost non-existent, causing the seasonal rivers and wetlands to dry up, leaving behind cracked mudflats and ash-colored withered grasslands. The Sahelian acacia savanna, located in the northern part of Zakouma, is the most arid ecoregion in the entire park. The terrain here is flat, with fast-draining sandy clay soil, causing surface moisture to disappear just a few weeks after the rainy season ends. The absence of water and natural shade means that the ground temperature in this area often exceeds 113 degrees Fahrenheit at midday. However, the plant life in this region has evolved to withstand these extremely arid conditions, through adaptations such as small leaves, deep root systems, and a thick outer bark. And the animals here are anything but fragile. Amidst the dusty veil that covers the savannah, the African civet silently roams the night, playing an essential role. With its highly developed scent glands, it leaves distinct chemical trails on tree trunks, rocks, and familiar paths. This scent-marking behavior is crucial for establishing territory and helps to prevent conflict, especially when food becomes limited. Their diet is both flexible and essential. From insects and fallen fruits to carrion, they contribute to the decomposition process. Also a small and agile creature, the caracal has adapted remarkably to the harsh, arid conditions of Zakuma. With its prominent long ears tipped with sharp black tufts like arrows, this wild cat is known for its ability to leap vertically up to 10 feet. An impressive skill that allows it to catch birds in mid-air. Thanks to its compact body and a sandy-colored coat that blends perfectly with the environment, the caracal moves with ease through the low thorn bushes. The Kordofan giraffe, the tallest of animals, faces no small challenge in surviving the dry season. Classified as a critically endangered subspecies, the Kordofan giraffe now numbers fewer than 2,000 individuals in the wild. More than half of them live in the core of Zakuma. Compared to other giraffe subspecies like the Maasai or the South African giraffe, the Kordofan is significantly smaller. Its average height ranges from 14.8 to 18 feet. Its coat is a pale cream color with small, sparse spots. Its mouth, equipped with flexible lips and a tongue nearly 18 inches long. This is a significant biological advantage, reducing direct competition with other herbivores. Among the hoofed mammals, the giraffe endures some of the highest joint and spinal pressures due to its size and long neck. This makes them particularly vulnerable to sudden changes in terrain, such as cracked dry ground or shifting sand slopes. GPS tracking reports from early 2025 show that the movement of the Kordofan giraffe has increased by nearly 30% during the dry season. This increase in movement under the intense heat depletes their energy and puts additional pressure on their joints. Furthermore, with a long neck and a cardiovascular system that operates at a blood pressure nearly double that of a human, bending down to drink from low water holes during the dry season comes with serious risks. However, the Kordofan giraffe has adapted. They shorten their bending time, remain vigilant in small groups, and primarily move in the early morning hours. More worrying, however, is their slow reproductive cycle and low birth rate. Each female gives birth to only one calf after a gestation period of up to 15 months. Also, in the arid Sahelian acacia savanna, where the Kordofan giraffe reigns in the treetops, the warthog stands out near the ground. Unlike many animals in Zakuma that tend to hide from the daytime heat, the warthog remains active during the peak hours. According to movement tracking data, the warthog spends 60 to 70% of its day foraging, with peak activity in the early morning and late afternoon. Notably, the pregnant or lactating females tend to extend their foraging time more than the males to meet their higher energy demands. Equipped with a pair of scimitar-shaped tusks and a low-slung body, they can dig deep burrows for their nightly refuge. Their tusks are also defensive tools. In the dry season, when fresh grass is scarce, the warthog feeds on its knees, a behavior that helps to conserve energy. They can also eat carrion and sometimes hunt insects or small animals when their main food sources are limited. Although not particularly large, the warthog is by no means helpless when facing its well-known predators. The adult individuals can charge with their tusks and use a sudden burst of speed of up to 28 miles per hour. The female warthogs protecting their young have even been known to approach and challenge medium-sized predators like the jackal. However, their presence on the fringes of the Sahelian acacia savanna can sometimes cause ecological concerns. During prolonged droughts, some warthogs may wander into the buffer zones, raiding the fields of rice, peanuts, or cassava. These raids have led to the warthog being considered an agricultural pest in some of the communities bordering the forest. In addition, the warthog is considered a natural host of the tsetse fly, an insect capable of transmitting African sleeping sickness. They are also potential carriers of the African swine fever virus, which they can carry without obvious symptoms. Managing the warthog population is a complex challenge in the buffer zones, where the boundary between the wilderness and human habitation remains fragile. The arid Sahelian acacia savanna of Zakuma is not an easy place to live. But the lion remains, not because it is the best place, but because it is the most suitable for their hunting strategy and survival needs. The lions in Zakuma are smaller than those in eastern and southern Africa. The males weigh on average from 265 to 330 pounds. With a minimal mane and a lean body, they move with more agility and expend less energy, an essential advantage in this arid savanna. They hunt mainly at night and at dawn when the prey begins to emerge from their shelters and the sunlight is still gentle. The most effective hunting window, according to data from GPS collars collected by African parks in early 2025, is from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. The remaining depressions around the Tama River become mandatory gathering points for herbivores like the topi, the roan antelope, and the warthog, and thus they become the main ambush areas. The lion is not a long-distance chaser in the open terrain, and the low, sparse bushes like the Senegal acacia, they rely on ambush tactics. This strategy helps to conserve energy, reduces the risk of failure, and is well suited to the landscape. In Zakuma, the lion prides are usually small, from 3 to 6 individuals. This is due to the low density of prey, the harsh environmental pressure, and the need to move over a wide range. The smaller groups move faster, require less food sharing, and are better able to control the vast territories. In the pride, the lionesses lead the hunt. They coordinate in small groups, usually sisters or mothers and daughters, to execute precise attacks. However, while the lionesses hunt, the males eat first, even if they did not participate. This rule maintains order and security in the pride. The adult males protect the pride from rival males and competing predators. In return, they get first access to the food. When prey is scarce, the females often carry a portion of the carcass away to feed their cubs separately, reducing conflict and improving their chances of survival. However, the tight social structure of the lion is also fragile. The population numbers in the entire region are still low, and many prides show signs of inbreeding. The West African lion group of Zakuma shares a lineage with those in the W. Ali Penjari complex and also mixes with populations from Central and North Central Africa. A 2024 genetic analysis confirmed that the lions of Zakuma carry an intermediate genome. This indicates the crucial role of Zakuma in connecting the last remaining genetic corridors of the Panthera leo subspecies. With fewer than 1,000 adult individuals of this subspecies left in the wild, Zakuma National Park plays a vital role. The lion also helps to maintain the ecological balance. Where there are lions, the herbivore herds move more cautiously and avoid overgrazing in specific areas. Zakuma is gradually recovering with purpose and action. In February 2025, Zakuma partnered with the Lion Recovery Fund to launch a comprehensive lion monitoring protocol. It combines camera traps, GPS tracking, genetic sampling, and analysis of social structure. The goal of this initiative is to determine the exact population numbers, track age, sex, and social relationships within the prides. At the same time, at the foot of the savannah, the Abyssinian ground hornbill quietly assumes its own role in the biological regulation of the ecosystem. Up to 3.6 feet tall, with a jet black plumage and a prominent red facial skin, it strides across the dry grasslands in search of insects, reptiles, and even young rodents. On top of its bill is a glossy black casque, a hollow structure that helps to amplify its deep, resonant call. Data from Zakuma in 2025 shows that these birds form lifelong pairs and control feeding territories of up to 1 square mile. In the dry season, when the ground cover is sparse and the ground cracks under the heat, their hunting efficiency improves. The Abyssinian ground hornbill lives mainly on the ground, making them a special site in the savanna ecosystem. In the dry season, the reduced vegetation cover significantly enhances their visibility and foraging range. As the ground hornbill's steps glide over the sun-scorched grass in search of insects, silent circles begin to form above. They are not a sign of life, but of an end. A life has ended, and another crucial link in the ecosystem is stepping in to perform its final duty. The African white-backed vulture. The most common vulture species in the sub-Saharan region, the African white-backed vulture makes up nearly 50% of the total vulture population in Chad. With a wingspan of up to 7.5 feet and extremely sharp vision, it can spot a carcass from a distance of 2.5 to 3 miles. When an individual spots a target, it begins to circle silently above, a clear visual signal that attracts others to the scene within minutes. In the dry season, when carcasses are more frequent due to lack of water and survival stress, their role becomes even more critical. They can clean a carcass within a few hours, eliminating harmful pathogens like anthrax and tissue-decomposing viruses. The African white-backed vulture follows a distinct feeding strategy. Unlike the larger vultures that tear the skin or crush the hard bones, the African white-backed vulture does not break the tough hide. Instead, it uses a pull-and-eat strategy, taking advantage of its beak shape to access the soft tissues, especially the internal organs. Most of the carcasses they consume are not from hunted prey, but from animals that have died of disease, accident, or exhaustion. After feeding, these birds often rest with their wings spread wide, basking in the dry heat, a characteristic behavior. The sunning not only helps to speed up digestion, but also helps to eliminate bacteria that cling to their feathers, acting as a natural biological shield. While the African white-backed vulture silently cleans up the remains of life, the martial eagle is often the one to initiate the cycle. As one of the most powerful birds of prey in Africa, it does not rely on flocks or the smell of rot. Instead, it hunts with unwavering and unhesitating precision. With a wingspan of over 8.5 feet and a weight of up to 13 pounds, its talons can grip prey twice its own weight. Its vision is estimated to be 3.6 times sharper than a human's, sharp enough to detect the slightest movement within a range of over 3 miles. In the dry season, when the grass is sparse and the ground is cracked, the martial eagle has a clear vantage point from the remaining tall Senegal acacia trees. They hunt alone, targeting prey weighing from 1 to 11 pounds. A single dive can reach a speed of up to 150 miles per hour. There is no chase, only perfect timing and a decisive attack. In addition, unlike many large eagles known for their noisy breeding calls, like the crested eagle, the martial eagle is almost silent. This silence makes it harder to detect and study in the wild, but it also reflects its solitary lifestyle and a strategy based on stealth. If the Sahelian savanna forms the arid buffer zone to the north, moving deeper into the heart of Zakuma, the landscape begins to change. This area belongs to the East Sudanian savanna, where the vegetation thickens with tall grasses interspersed with shrubs and scattered patches of open woodland. Although still classified as semi-arid, the dry season in the East Sudanian savanna is less severe than in the north. The humidity is higher and the daytime temperature hovers around 97 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Some semi-permanent water sources persist longer into the dry season thanks to the deeper, nutrient-rich clay soils. In the dense undergrowth of the Combretum and Terminalia bushes in central Zakuma, the African crested porcupine silently emerges at night. With quills that can be up to 16 inches long, raised when threatened, this rodent is known for its passive but highly effective defense mechanism. During the dry season, when food is scarce, these porcupines venture deeper into the woodlands in search of remaining roots, tubers, and bark. However, this does not significantly affect the porcupine's health thanks to its specialized digestive system and a clever nutritional strategy. Also in this region, another resident has chosen a completely opposite survival strategy, the patas monkey. No hiding, no burrowing. They burst into the open grasslands with remarkable speed. This is the fastest running monkey in the world, capable of reaching speeds of up to 34 miles per hour when pursued, twice as fast as most other primates in Africa. The patas monkey has a slender body, powerful hind legs, and a long whip-like tail, nearly as long as its body, which helps maintain balance. Its reddish-brown coat, bright face, and distinctive black eye markings like glasses make it easily detectable even from a distance. They live in small groups, led by a dominant male, are active during the day, and are constantly on the move in search of seeds and insects. This agility reduces their risk of encountering predators by 40% compared to slower-moving primates in the same area. Not all species choose to disperse and move with the flexibility of the patas monkey. Right in this same area, the buffon's cob takes the opposite approach, forming large, cohesive herds to survive the harsh, dry season. A distinct subspecies of the cob, the buffon's cob, is widely distributed across Central Africa and the Sahel, areas that now have arid soil, scorched grass, and dust-covered depressions. Unlike many herbivores that choose to hide in harsh weather, the buffon's cob gathers in large groups, with herds sometimes numbering in the hundreds. Each herd has a well-structured social hierarchy, often divided into 3 groups. There is a group of females with their young, solitary adult males, and younger male groups that practice competitive behaviors. At the end of the dry season, before the first rains arrive, the adult males begin to establish mating territories. They use their lyre-shaped horns to engage in direct combat to control the remaining patches of grass. GPS tracking from 2025 shows that the dominant males control territories of 0.3 to 0.6 square miles, which they hold for the 2 to 3 peak breeding weeks. To evade predators, the buffon's cob relies on a strategy of early detection and rapid response. They have a wide field of vision and extremely keen hearing, with many individuals constantly on alert at the edge of the herd. Their sprinting speed can reach up to 43 miles per hour, with sudden turns that reduce the chances of being caught. Like the cob, the African bush elephant also lives in herds. But their survival strategy is uniquely shaped by a different kind of hardship, one not rooted in weather or terrain. From 2002 to 2010, over 4,000 African bush elephants in Zakuma were lost to ivory poaching, more than 90% of the population. The impact was devastating, leaving deep fissures in the elephant's social structure. The matriarch-led herds were shattered, and without their leaders, the surviving elephants became scattered and extremely wary. The loss of the matriarchs, the keepers of migratory and landscape memory, left the herds disoriented. But a turning point came in 2010 when African Parks took over the management of the park. By early 2025, Zakuma's elephant population had surpassed 750 individuals, with more than a quarter being calves. Now, the African bush elephant is gradually returning to a normal life, readapting to the harsh rhythm of the dry season. In these conditions, the spatial memory of the matriarch becomes the key to survival. In these conditions, the spatial memory of the matriarch becomes the key to survival. Under the leadership of the oldest female, the herd moves constantly to reach areas like the Bar Salamat riverbed. The elephant herds of Zakuma are matriarchal units consisting of related females and their offspring. Each herd functions as a close-knit, highly coordinated social group in moving, foraging, protecting the calves, and sharing survival information. In arid conditions, the elephant's diet changes significantly. When fresh grass is gone, they switch to dry leaves, broken branches, roots, and bark, consuming from 265 to 330 pounds of vegetation per day. This behavior inadvertently reshapes the landscape, creating new opportunities for other species to thrive after the dry season. Their trunk, containing over 40,000 individual muscle bundles, is a crucial tool and weapon in their survival. During the dry season, the African bush elephant is known to dig water holes with their trunks. Each well is 12 to 20 inches deep. In times of extreme scarcity, ecological stress can lead to encounters with top predators like the lion. Besides sharing food and protecting the young, elephants also exhibit mourning behaviors for their deceased members, a rare trait. Zakuma National Park is gradually reclaiming its role as a true ecological sanctuary. Here, each African bush elephant is not just existing, but living with memory, intention, and purpose. As the thick night swallows the savannah, the mother elephant's every purpose contracts into a single instinct to protect. Beneath her colossal body, a tiny life trembles, its faint cries lost. The silence is torn as they arrive. A whole clan of hyenas emerges from the bush, their circle tightening with a macabre laughter, turning the still night into an arena. They lunge, aiming for the young, tender legs, but a wall of flesh and bone stands in their way. The mother trumpets a sound that shakes the heavens, not of fear, but of a primal fury. Each swing of her tusks is a sworn oath that the enemy will have to pass through her. In a circle of death, a mother's love blazes, brutally and fiercely beautiful. But contrasting with the roar of maternal love is another sound that shapes survival in Zakuma, the eerie laughter of the hunter. The spotted hyena has one of the most powerful bites relative to its body size. exerting a force of up to 1,000 pounds, force enough to crush the large bones that lions leave behind. Their digestive system is equipped with bone-dissolving enzymes, allowing them to digest marrow and bone fragments much more efficiently. They live in matriarchal clans. Each group is led by dominant females, usually related by blood, along with their offspring. In the dry season, the spotted hyena flexibly switches between the role of a scavenger and a formidable predator. They often arrive at lion kills to compete, using their large numbers to intimidate and steal the carcass when the original predators are off guard. Clashes between hyenas and lions have been recorded, with the hyenas organizing full-scale assaults on the carcasses. Even more incredible is their willingness to consume the remains of their own kind, an act that is both cold and efficient. Their dens, communal shelters chosen by the dominant females, are designed with multiple narrow entrances and are maintained collectively. In the dry season, when direct hunting becomes more difficult, the spotted hyena relies more on scavenging. They follow the vultures or the distant sounds of large predators, sometimes from miles away, to locate the carcasses. Unlike the lions, they are not dependent on the seasonal migrations of their prey. Instead, they adapt to the prey's movements. Their strong social structure helps to mitigate the stress of the dry season. When a dominant female dies, her successor, usually a daughter, quickly steps in to restore order and stability to the clan. And now, another predator enters. Silent and cold-blooded, the African rock python. As the largest python in Africa, it can be up to 20 feet long and weigh over 110 pounds. In the dry season, to cope with the limited water sources, the python often hides near the riverbanks and the rock crevices, nestled among the combretum bushes. The ability to swallow prey as large as a young gazelle in a single meal is a remarkable survival strategy. The African rock python is living proof that even the limitations of a cold-blooded animal can be overcome by long-term, energy-efficient survival tactics. After months of prolonged drought, life in Zakuma enters a spectacular phase of renewal. The rainy season begins. From May to October, the region receives an average of 27 to 47 inches of rainfall annually, with the peak in July and August. The temperature drops slightly compared to the dry season, ranging from 75 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, while the humidity rises sharply, making the air feel heavy and damp. The rivers that had completely dried up, like the Bahr Salamat, quickly fill again, forming a temporary network of wetlands on the lands and plains. The rainy season unleashes a wave of vitality across Zakuma. Weeds grow thick, trees sprout new leaves, and the cracked earth is replaced by a muddy, fertile layer of soil. Thousands of migratory birds return, the animal species begin to breed, and the park enters its richest and most prosperous period of the year. In the East Sudanian savanna, the rainy season marks a dramatic change in the vegetation structure. The open grasslands turn into lush green areas with thick, moisture-rich layers of vegetation. In the network of bushes and woody plants along the newly formed waterways, the Cape bushbuck begins its survival season with a completely different strategy. Unlike many herd-dwelling antelope species, this species chooses a solitary and secretive lifestyle. A choice that offers a clear advantage when the vegetation becomes dense and visibility is limited. Its dark reddish-brown coat, marked with delicate white stripes and swirls, is both a distinctive feature and a perfect camouflage. The Cape bushbuck moves cautiously, usually only emerging from its cover at dawn or dusk. They rarely stray far from the edges of the thickets along the streams, where the higher humidity preserves the soft, nutrient-rich food sources. When it senses danger, the Cape bushbuck does not flee across the open terrain like the grassland antelopes. Instead, they quietly slip into the dense forest cover, standing perfectly still and relying on their natural camouflage. After months of scorching drought, the arrival of rain brings life to the East Sudanian savanna. But the return of the black rhino marks a much more profound turning point for Zakouma. Once home to the subspecies known as the western black rhino, Zakouma saw its last sighting in 1972. In 2011, the International Union for Conservation of Nature officially declared this subspecies extinct. The recovery efforts began in 2018 when 6 black rhinos were flown from Addo National Park in South Africa to Zakouma. However, 4 of them did not survive the first few months. The cause was not poaching or disease, but physiological stress. The 2 surviving females became the foundation for a more sustainable recovery plan. In December 2023, 5 new black rhinos were brought to Zakouma from Limpopo on a 2,700-mile journey. This reintroduction was carefully prepared, with attention to genetics, followed by the installation of a protective fence on the southern edge of the East Sudanian savanna. Although large and without major predators as adults, the black rhino is not entirely free from risk. When threatened, a black rhino can charge at speeds of up to 34 miles per hour, using its sharp horn and quick reflexes for defense. Unlike the large herbivores that eat the soft grass of the open plains, the black rhino is a classic browser. As the vegetation thickens and the flooded areas become more inaccessible, the black rhino sticks to the bush corridors along the forest edges. Weighing from 1,760 to 3,000 pounds, they consume a large amount of biomass, but do not travel far to find it. When the sun is high, they retreat to the base of large trees or shaded areas to rest and reduce thermal stress. As solitary animals, except for the females with their young, the black rhino is extremely sensitive to changes in its environment. The failure of 2018 clearly reflected this deep vulnerability, but the return in 2023 showed a marked improvement. Although it is too early to declare the reintroduction complete, every footprint of the black rhino on the dry earth of Zakouma is a clear sign that the ecosystem is healing. Today, Zakuma National Park remains the only place in Chad with a resident, albeit still small, population of black rhinos. Although not as rare in numbers as the black rhino, spotting a bush pig is not an easy task. Amidst the torrential downpours, each drop of water seems to wash away fear, but also to ignite the flame of courage. It is the image of a female buffalo standing firm like a rampart, shielding her young calves from the claws of a hidden predator. It is the silent journey of the black rhinos, each footstep imprinting a trace of a fragile but resilient hope on this land. Zakuma is not only a place that witnesses brutality, but also a place where stories of unity, of maternal love, of a will that does not yield to any challenge, blossom. In the rainy season, the red river hog, with its vibrant red coat, white facial markings, and a prominent white dorsal mane, makes the most of the dense, humid forest edges. They are mainly active at night, dawn, and dusk, moving in small groups of 6 to 15 individuals, led by a dominant male. Living in the humid post-rain habitats, they use their long snouts to search for tubers, roots, snails, insects, fallen fruits, and even carrion. In the rainy season, the bush pig also increases its reproduction. Mating occurs from September to April, peaking in the wet months with an average litter size of 3 to 4 piglets. Amidst the pouring rain, a large silhouette moves silently along the edge of the bush, emerging slowly and with surprising dexterity. In a flash, it pounces, revealing its strength, the leopard. In the rainy season, when the vegetation is lush and covers every corner, the leopard becomes more cunning than ever. Its rosette-spotted coat allows it to disappear in the shadows, while the dense green provides the perfect cover to stalk its prey. The rainy season brings a lot of food, but also intensifies the competition. The leopard has to contend with the lion, which dominates in daytime hunting, and the spotted hyena, known for its kleptoparasitic behavior. Therefore, the leopard has adapted, hoisting its kill into a tree within 30 minutes of the hunt to protect its meal. Their climbing skills are a crucial survival tool. After a successful hunt, they carry their prey up to the branches, usually 6 to 10 feet high. This tactic not only keeps the food safe, but also keeps it fresh for longer. Camera traps in Zakuma show that hoisting the prey often happens quickly within an hour of the kill, especially on gloomy, rainy nights. The leopard also uses the large trees as vantage points or resting places, choosing positions with a wide view and relative safety. The leopard can also swim. Although not as natural in the water as the tiger, they can cross shallow streams or chase prey through the flooded ravines. And here's an interesting fact. If you've ever seen a black panther and thought it was a completely different species, you were looking at a leopard. These are leopards with a melanin mutation, which gives them a jet black coat. Under dim light, if you look closely, you can still see their characteristic rosette patterns faintly visible under the black fur. Although their behavior is similar to that of the lighter-colored leopards, their black coat gives them an additional stealth advantage on rainy nights. The rainy season brings the flocks back to the East Sudanian savanna, and among the most eye-catching visitors is the white-throated bee-eater. This migratory bird arrives in noisy groups, often seen gliding through the sky to catch flying insects like bees, winged ants, and flies. With a slender body about 7.5 to 8 inches long, plus an additional 4 inches from the elongated central tail feathers, and weighing only about 0.7 to 1 ounce. Their plumage is particularly striking. They have an emerald green back, a pale blue belly, and a bright white throat, a clear and recognizable highlight. A sharp black streak runs across the eye, giving them a keen appearance, while the 2 central tail feathers hang like delicate black threads. Their curved, sharp, black beak is perfectly shaped for catching flying insects with precision. After hunting, they often perch in rows on power lines or high branches, emitting sharp, high-pitched calls, a distinct sign of their presence. This species thrives in the mixed savanna with open woodland, where the clear sky provides hunting space and the high branches offer a resting place. Migrating from the Sahel at the beginning of the rainy season, they hunt throughout the day with peak activity in the morning and late afternoon. When they perch, they often sway gently to observe their surroundings, If disturbed, the whole flock quickly disperses, creating constantly changing gaps. If the East Sudanian savanna is the vibrant woodland core of Zakuma, then the Bahr Salamat floodplain is its humid lung. Located in the south of the park, this area becomes a natural extension of the savanna during the rainy season. The abundant rainfall from May to October promotes the rapid growth of aquatic vegetation. This area transforms into a crucial water concentration point, attracting migratory birds, fish, amphibians, and is an important refuge for large mammals. During the rainy season, the marsh mongoose becomes particularly active in the areas where the rising water levels create ideal conditions. As one of the few mongoose species that thrive near water, it uses its ability to swim and make short dives to access its prey. The marsh mongoose breeds twice a year, usually during the rainy season when food is most abundant. The female typically gives birth to 2 to 3 young after a gestation period of about 70 days. The young open their eyes after about 11 days and begin to eat solid food at around 4 weeks, although they remain dependent on their mother for nearly 3 months. They are solitary, only coming together to mate. They mark their territory with anal gland secretions. When faced with predators like the martial eagle or the African rock python, their first reaction is to bristle their fur, hissing a sharp hiss. As soon as the warning hiss of the marsh mongoose fades beneath the water's surface, a colossal force begins to emerge in this region. The African buffalo herd, fueled by sheer collective power, is on the move. In the rainy season, as the floodplains expand, the buffalo gather in large groups, often of 200 to 300 individuals. The gathering not only protects the young from predators, but also offers ecological benefits. They often move through the swampy areas to avoid blood-sucking insects, inadvertently trampling the tall grass and shrubs. The rainy season is also the peak time for buffalo to wallow in the mud, an important behavior that helps to cool their bodies and repel mosquitoes. The buffalo are heavily dependent on water. They must drink at least once a day, usually from the ponds or the flooded channels. Notably, buffalo do not act entirely on individual instinct. They follow a unique movement voting system. When deciding where to go, a few females stand up and face a chosen direction. After a period of silent observation, the herd follows the majority. The buffalo also maintain a symbiotic relationship with the oxpecker birds, which perch on their backs to remove parasites. Their defensive capabilities are impressive. When threatened, they form defensive lines with the adult males on the outer ring. This is why few predators dare to challenge a buffalo herd during the day. The rainy season also greatly affects their diet. Their main food source is the flooded grass and the fresh herbs. Studies show that in the rainy season, buffalo are bulk grazers, indiscriminately eating various grasses and consuming about 2 to 3% of their body weight per day. The buffalo in Zakuma typically travel from 2 to 2.5 miles per day in the rainy season, less than in the dry season. Most importantly, the stable presence of the buffalo, from about 220 individuals in 1986 to over 15,000 today, has created a solid biological foundation. Also drawn by the water, the hippopotamus spends most of its time submerged, up to 16 to 18 hours a day. They stand or lie in the water, with only their eyes, ears and nostrils exposed above the surface, surfacing to breathe every 3 to 5 minutes. Thanks to their dense bones and heavy muscles, they can easily sink and rest at the bottom of the rain-filled rivers. Their survival also lies in a fascinating evolutionary trait. The hippopotamus shares a common ancestor with the whale. That ancestor, a hoofed animal named Indohius, lived near the rivers and streams about 55 million years ago. One branch fully adapted to marine life, becoming the ancestor of the modern cetaceans. The other branch retained a semi-aquatic life and gradually evolved into the hippopotamus of today. Despite the differences in appearance, the hippopotamus and the whale share many biological traits, including giving birth underwater. They usually travel tens of yards and can consume up to 88 pounds of fresh grass in a single night. Have you ever wondered how a river can sustain so many creatures? The answer lies in an unexpected nutrient pump, the hippopotamus. Every night, they consume dozens of pounds of grass on land. During the day, they excrete a large amount of dung into the water. This is not waste, but a super fertilizer, transporting nutrients from the land into the aquatic ecosystem. This dung feeds the algae and microorganisms, forming the foundation for the entire underwater food chain, from small fish to crocodiles. Although they may seem cumbersome, hippos can run at speeds of up to 19 miles per hour, and they become particularly aggressive. The hippopotamus is highly territorial. If intruders, such as crocodiles or humans, enter the water they consider their home, they can attack suddenly. The rainy season provides them with safety and comfort. The wider access to water reduces competition, and the hippos benefit from breeding, skin hygiene, and a stable, suitable aquatic environment. Along with the hippopotamus, another ancient creature begins to stir, silent but full of latent power, the Nile crocodile. As the largest crocodile in Africa, the Nile crocodile can be up to 16 feet long and weigh up to 1,650 pounds, dominating along the riverbanks. It hunts by ambush, lying submerged in the water, with only its eyes and nostrils exposed above the surface, waiting for its prey to approach the water. The rainy season is also the breeding season for the Nile crocodile. According to zoological records, mating occurs from November to April. The incubation period lasts from 70 to 100 days, during which both parents guard the nest, an unusual trait in reptiles. The rainy season transforms the landscape with its flooded vegetation and changing waterways, creating a maze-like habitat. The Nile crocodile can hold its breath for up to 2 hours, although they usually surface every 3 to 5 minutes during their ambushes. In the rainy season, when the cool rain and the humid air combine, the ability to hold their breath allows them to wait patiently for long periods. Their hunting strategy targets everything from small fish and waterfowl to large animals like wildebeest and antelopes. When these animals come near the water's edge, with a sudden burst, the crocodile lunges, suffocating its prey and dragging it into the water. In contrast to the ambush predators like the Nile crocodile, the African clawless otter moves gracefully through the waters of the Bahr Salamat in the rainy season. Instead, it glides through the murky brown streams, using its extremely sensitive whiskers to detect the slightest movements of fish. The rainy season, from May to October, is the most active time for the clawless otter. Their clawless front paws allow for precise handling of prey on land, especially hard-shelled creatures. They are one of the few predators in the Bahr Salamat that do not rely on ambush, but on agile movement and sophisticated mechanosensory senses. Regarding reproduction, the clawless otter usually mates in the middle of the rainy season. The female gives birth to 1 to 3 young after about a 2-month gestation period, choosing tree hollows or high ground banks. When faced with danger, they can bristle their fur, let out loud hisses, or retreat into deep water burrows, leaving only their nostrils to breathe. Some individuals also use anal gland secretions to mark their territory or to communicate, a behavior evidenced by the scent on the mud. The white-faced whistling duck stands out in the rainy season, brightening the wetlands it inhabits. Easily recognizable by its white face that contrasts with a glossy black head and neck, this species has a chestnut breast and a dark brown to black back. They are about 16 to 18 inches long, with long legs and a grey bill. An ideal physique for swimming and flying over the shallow pools. Their distinctive three-note whistle echoes every dawn over the wetlands. The rainy season is the breeding time for the white-faced whistling duck. They nest on the soft ground, bordered by tall vegetation near the swamps. On average, each pair lays 6 to 12 eggs, which are incubated for 26 to 28 days. This season also brings a molt, allowing the young birds to regrow their flight feathers and to keep up with the flock from the first month of their lives. Their diet consists of grass seeds, aquatic plant seeds, insects, and invertebrates, which are abundant in the swamp vegetation and the moist soil. Amidst the arrival of the rainy season, another fascinating bird appears on the water's surface, the African jacana. They compete directly with the white-faced whistling duck and other small water birds for food like aquatic insects. The presence of the jacana sparks a silent competition, a confrontation for both food and space on top of the floating vegetation. Their plumage is distinguished by a deep reddish-brown coat, a pale breast, and a black wing stripe. Thanks to their uniquely long toes and wide feet, the African jacana can walk gracefully on the floating vegetation. The breeding behavior of the jacana is particularly noteworthy. Active from May to October, they build floating nests from grass and water plants. The male takes on most of the responsibility of incubating the eggs and raising the young, a rare paternal care strategy in birds. As the light steps of the African jacana signal the start of the breeding season, the black-crowned crane arrives, bringing with it a magnificent dance of rebirth. Unlike any other crane in the world, the black-crowned crane possesses a flexible hind toe that allows it to perch in trees. At night, many individuals choose the high branches or even the wooden utility poles to sleep, evading predators. Each rainy season, their courtship dance begins a sacred choreography of nature. The male and female bow repeatedly, then spread their wings and leap with a captivating grace. Once fully bonded, they often preen each other, a gentle, affectionate act. Unlike the species that migrate across continents, these cranes remain in their national or regional ecosystems. However, this beauty is under threat. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the population of the black-crowned crane has declined by 30 to 49% since 1975. The leading cause is the loss and degradation of their habitat. The wetlands have been drained for agriculture. More alarmingly, some individuals have been illegally captured for the global pet bird trade. Despite these challenges, the cranes are still dancing their hymn of rebirth in Zakuma. In the rainy season of 2024, the conservationists recorded nearly 3,900 individuals in the southern, swampy areas of the park. Once hailed as a model of conservation recovery, Zakuma National Park is now facing increasing challenges in 2024 and 2025. According to reports, at least 12 giraffes, 12 buffalo, and 2 black rhinos have been poached in just the first quarter of 2025. This increase in poaching has prompted the Chadian government to issue a stern warning about a notable setback. Meanwhile, livestock grazing and agricultural encroachment are rapidly expanding into the eastern and southeastern buffer zones. The weather patterns are also becoming more unfavorable. Reports show that the Sahel region has lost 20 to 30% of its average rainfall since the 1980s. This prolonged drought has led to a decline in vegetation and water scarcity. As a result, the wildlife is forced to travel further, increasing the likelihood of conflict with human settlements. Today, Zakuma is a battlefield between nature's will to recover and the weight of converging threats. It is an ecosystem that is negotiating for every breath of life, trying to maintain the fragile line between revival and retreat. In the stark contrast between the recovery efforts and the harsh reality of the growing threats, Zakuma is being forced to reinvent how it protects itself. According to the African Parks Report of 2025, Zakuma is implementing a series of measures to respond to the increasingly serious challenges. First, the anti-poaching activities have been intensified with mobile rapid response units supported by GPS monitoring technology, camera traps, and remote sensing. Zakuma has also expanded its community development programs in the southeastern buffer zones. These efforts promote sustainable grazing, improve agricultural techniques, and provide veterinary services. Ecologically, the park is making efforts to restore the vegetation by conserving the natural water points and replanting the acacia trees. Notably, since early 2024, Zakuma has started to use drone and environmental DNA ecological monitoring to track the animal population dynamics. These measures show that Zakuma is not just holding on, it is actively shaping a sustainable conservation model for the future. If you have ever visited Zakuma National Park, do not hesitate to share your knowledge and stories in the comments section below. Your voice can inspire and energize the ongoing work to protect the endangered wildlife. Palawan, a lush strip of land stretching between the South China Sea and the Sulu Sea, is not just a part of the Philippines, but a symbol of the enduring splendor of the wild. With the nickname, the last ecological frontier, Palawan is a place where pristine nature still thrives. Spanning over 5,500 square miles, this region is a jewel of the archipelago, where jungle, sea, and mountains merge into one. The climate here is typically tropical, with an average temperature of 75 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit and an annual rainfall of up to 60 inches. Palawan is not just a nature reserve, but also a crossroads of forest, marine, and mountain ecosystems. The seemingly endless tropical rainforests, where sunlight struggles to penetrate the dense canopy, create a green, mysterious, and enchanting kingdom. Palawan is also home to hundreds of endemic species of flora and fauna. Among them is the Philippine mouse deer, the smallest deer in the world, standing only 18 inches tall and weighing less than 10 pounds. Then there is the Palawan hornbill, an endemic bird that plays a crucial role in seed dispersal, helping to regenerate the forest. And one cannot forget the Palawan peacock pheasant, resplendent in its vibrant beauty. Amidst the ancient trees, tens of feet high, and a tangled network of vines, a rare and fascinating creature moves silently. This is the binturong, scientifically known as Arctictis binturong, commonly known as the bear cat. With its jet-black fur tinged with silver, a long prehensile tail that acts as a fifth limb, and a distinctive scent reminiscent of freshly popped popcorn. Dating back over 20 million years, this ancient mammal of the viverrid family is a living testament to the long evolutionary process of nature. Primarily distributed throughout Southeast Asia, but in the Philippines it is found only on the island of Palawan. The humid, dense, and multi-layered rainforests of Palawan provide an ideal habitat for this nocturnal species. Spending most of its life in the trees, the binturong moves gracefully on the high branches from 65 to 200 feet, using its tail for balance. Its survival strategy is remarkable. The binturong emits a scent like popcorn, a unique communication mechanism to mark its territory and attract mates. This scent lingers in the air, deterring enemies and signaling to other members of its species. Besides its role as a natural gardener helping to disperse seeds, the binturong is also an important component of the food chain. However, like the forests of Palawan, the binturong also faces significant threats. According to the IUCN, it is classified as vulnerable, with its numbers rapidly declining due to habitat loss and illegal hunting. In a remote corner of the Palawan tropical rainforest, the Visayan warty pig emerges as a symbol of resilient vitality and ecological beauty. This wild pig, with its unique characteristics and irreplaceable role, is a living testament to the richness of the tropical ecosystem in the Philippines. According to the IUCN Red List, this species is now classified as critically endangered, with fewer than 300 individuals remaining in the wild. The main causes of their decline are habitat loss due to logging, agricultural expansion, and illegal hunting. Palawan, with its forests stretching from the foothills to the mountain peaks at altitudes of 500 to 2,000 feet, offers a perfect refuge. Here, the dense vegetation and abundant food sources such as roots, fallen fruits, and insects have supported their survival. By eating fruits and dispersing seeds, these pigs contribute to the continuous development of plant life. In addition, their habit of digging up the soil inadvertently creates opportunities for new plants to sprout, promoting biodiversity. The tropical rainforest of Palawan, with its rich biodiversity, is a testament to the enduring power of the saltwater crocodile. A reptile that has reigned since the age of the dinosaurs. Every aspect of this crocodile reflects the perfection of evolution, from its body up to 23 feet long, weighing over 2,200 pounds, to the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom, measured at 3,700 psi. Its presence evokes the image of an unstoppable predator, dominating both freshwater and saltwater realms. The mangrove forests of Palawan, with their complex network of rivers and swamps, serve as a refuge for this apex predator. This habitat is ideal for hunting and breeding, as the crocodiles use the hidden corners of the mangrove trees for ambush. With a swimming speed of up to 18 miles per hour, they can effectively pursue their prey or leap up to 6 feet out of the water to catch low-perched birds. This crocodile is not just a fearsome predator, but also a master of ambush. Camouflaged in the still water, with only its eyes and nostrils exposed, it becomes a part of the landscape, motionless and patient. When it strikes, the lightning-fast snap, using its sharp teeth and a bite force of up to 3,700 psi, is strong enough to crush metal. The saltwater crocodile relies not just on brute force, but also on sophisticated tactics. The saltwater crocodile is a living testament to the perfection of evolution. Its existence, like the ripples spreading on the water's surface, reminds humanity of the complex connections between all living things. But the beauty of the Philippines is not just on the surface. Beneath the rock and soil lies an enchanting underworld. Beneath the Earth's crust, there is a mysterious pulse, a world carved not by light, but by time and the eternal flow of water. The Puerto Princesa subterranean river, a 5-mile-long underground river, winds through the limestone caves of Palawan. This cave system, like a labyrinth, has been sculpted over millions of years as water eroded the limestone. The sparkling stalactites and tiered stalagmites, like frozen waterfalls, form natural works of art. Inside, with a stable temperature of 64 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit and a humidity exceeding 90%, the environment nurtures unique life forms. Although light cannot penetrate, the creatures here are not lost. They rely on their enhanced senses of touch and smell to survive. In this kingdom of eternal darkness, the cave ecosystem maintains a fragile but perfect balance. The tiny cave spiders, with legs up to 3 inches long, hunt smaller insects with the precision of skilled artisans. The cave scorpion, with its shell that glows under ultraviolet light, acts as a guardian of the ecological balance in the dark. This ecosystem is also home to bats, with the Philippine horseshoe bat being a notable representative. As seed dispersers, bats serve as a crucial link between the cave ecosystem and the surrounding forest. Bat guano, a precious source of nutrients for the cave-dwelling animals, sustains a complex but balanced food chain. Every night, millions of bats fly out of the caves, carrying with them seeds from the forest outside. Their droppings, or guano, not only feed the insects and microorganisms in the cave, but also bring those seeds into the darkness. Some seeds will be carried out by the water and germinate. In a magical way, it is the darkness of the caves that is helping to sow and regenerate the light-filled forest above. Nestled between the deep blue waves of the South China Sea and the tropical land, the mangrove forests of the Philippines emerge like a soft green ribbon. These forests are not just a natural boundary between the sea and the land, but also a fortress protecting millions of life forms. With an estimated area of about 1.5 million acres, these mangrove forests are the beating heart of one of Southeast Asia's most important ecosystems. Like resilient green walls, they face typhoons and tsunamis, mitigating the power of the harsh, natural elements. The mangrove forests of the Philippines are not just physical barriers, but also massive natural carbon sinks. According to the Global Mangrove Alliance in 2023, each acre of mangrove forest can absorb up to about 14,000 pounds of carbon dioxide annually. Nestled between the majestic Sierra Madre Mountains and the powerful waves of the Pacific Ocean, the Aurora mangrove forest stands as a green fortress. Stretching over a vast area, the Aurora mangrove forest is considered one of the oldest mangrove forests in the Philippines. Aurora has a tropical climate, with an average annual rainfall of 140 inches, which maintains the humidity and richness of the ecosystem. The temperature ranges from 75 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, creating an ideal environment for endemic species. The mangrove forests not only act as a natural barrier protecting the coast from erosion, but are also a nursery for life. Their submerged roots, like a labyrinth, provide shelter for fish, crabs, and shrimp larvae, sustaining the food chain for both marine and terrestrial ecosystems. The Aurora mangrove forest is also one of the last refuges of the Luzon bleeding heart dove, a pigeon species endemic to the island of Luzon.